Welcome to the Tesla Economist. Please hit the thumbs up and remember to subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon. Ford have announced they plan to split their EVs and legacy autos into separate units. Ford is separating the operations but keeping them in-house. The company expects the move will facilitate its growing electric vehicle business and maximize profits. This is probably a sensible move for Ford, as it's clearly not working for them right now. There are too many legacy people and systems in the old business. We've seen this in legacy autos EVs. They can't let go of the past. They need their front grills and gear sticks, etc. They just can't get their heads around the concept of a digital car. They struggle enough with an electric car. EVs is not Ford's game. It really isn't and never was. It's just that EVs are what is killing Ford's business, and they are taking the attitude of if you can't fight them, then join them. But Ford seems to think that they can possibly make EVs profitably. Like I said, it's not their industry. Do you have any idea how many companies branch into new industries only to completely fail? Even the almighty Amazon failed in the smartphone industry. The traditional legacy business will be known as Ford Blue, and the EV division will be called no other than the Model E. The Model E, which how can it not be construed as a total slap in the face to Tesla or Elon? As Elon wanted to name the Model 3 the Model E, as obviously sexy is spelt with an E, not a 3. Ford refused to let Tesla have that copyright. So the entire EV division of Ford will be called the Model E. Is it me, or does that sound more like the name of a car model than a car company? But it's all in good spite. It looks like Ford Blue will fund Model E. It will just depend on how much longer Ford Blue can even make profits. Farley said Ford plans to build more than 2 million EVs in 2026. About 1/3 of its annual global production, with EVs rising to 50% of its total volume by 2030. Inferring from what Farley is saying here, he seems to think that the ICE business will last for some time, still selling ICE vehicles even. Well, maybe he does think that, maybe he doesn't, but he is saying it publicly. It's probably just for shareholders. No offense, Jim, but your math is dreadful, as you seem to think you'll be selling 6 million vehicles in 2026. Well, Tesla probably aren't far off 10 million vehicles by then. Now, what happens when one company takes some market share from another? Well, that other company ends up selling fewer units. Ford's and all legacy sales are going to exponentially drop. Coincidentally, at the same time, Tesla's exponentially increase. Oh, also the Chinese EVs and Tesla will take out a lot of legacy's Chinese operations, which for a lot of them is their only profitable market left. This is part of Ford's Kill Tesla plan. Remember when Volkswagen had this huge meeting to try and work out what to do about Tesla, called Mission T or something, which doesn't seem to have gone particularly well since? Well, I think that's what this is. This is Ford's realization moment of what do we do? How do we survive? I know someone working at Ford, and they sent me this. Ford have spent a fortune on analysts to work out what the company is. It couldn't be any more MBA if they tried. We have Ford's identity of what Tesla is in 5 points. Of course, on no other than a PowerPoint presentation, because we know nothing says business like PowerPoint. Number 1, a single-minded mission statement. Yes, Tesla have a world-saving mission. What would Ford's be? To sell more cars? There is no heart and soul in Ford to arbitrarily think of something like saving the manatees. Number 2, differentiated customer experience. Yup, there is no car like a Tesla, and Ford will never come close to what Tesla can do. So how is Ford going to differentiate themselves? Tesla is mainstream, Ford is mainstream, currently going head to head. And I know who will win the pickup truck battle too. Ford can't differentiate themselves to a lower cost EV as they can't produce profits with high costs and rebates as it is. Yeah, tough one there for you, Ford. Number 3, community minded. There's a reason the community is so strong in Tesla, and part of it is due to our animosity against companies literally like Ford. Might be another tough one for Ford, aside from die-hard F-150 fans somewhere in the Rust Belt. Number 4, hype-style marketing. Yes, Tesla is great at that and never advertises, but it's a lot easier to hype a car that is quicker than a $3.5 million Bugatti for 3% of the price. Oh, and blasting vehicles into outer space, or our heroic CEO doing what he can to end the world of people like Jim Farley running companies like Ford. Number 5, and this says it all, treat cars like technology. They still don't get it. Tesla are treating technology like cars. Technology first, car second. Anyway, this is all obviously hot air marketing hyperbole to build confidence for the shareholders. What should really be on here is a way to get their costs down. That's their main problem. They have enough demand, surprisingly. It's profits they don't have. They should be working on logistics and manufacturing. One of the biggest advantages potentially separating the two businesses is that maybe the Model E business can leapfrog the car dealer network. If that's the case, then that would likely add another $5,000 onto gross profit per vehicle. Of course, the dealers will not be happy and likely sue, so this probably isn't going to be possible. Maybe this new division will have no unions. That will save about another $5,000 per vehicle too. Yeah, not sure that's likely either. Oh well, if they can't get their costs down, then Ford is smoke. This isn't something Ford can throw money at either. It shows how clueless they are, upping their investment from 25 billion magic beans to 50 billion magic beans. It's all nothing until they prove they can score such levels of capital. But the point is that the EV industry is not cash constrained. This is not a simple matter of throwing more money at the issue. Elon said a long time ago, we are not cash constrained, and Tesla had a lot less cash than $50 billion, yet they were not cash constrained, and haven't spent close to that number still today, yet are hitting volume production. Ford seems to think the issue with the EV industry is that they are cash constrained, not enough money going into growing the EV industry. Elon thinks it's battery constraints. And yes, I understand that Ford's money is going into more battery facilities, but it's not going into mining more nickel. There are bottlenecks and delays that even $50 billion can't rectify. And can we just talk about that $50 billion? This is 2/3 the entire market valuation of Ford. Where are they going to get this money? I'm really wondering. And obviously, I'm not naive enough to know this is just total hyperbole. I generally want to know how people think they can raise $50 billion. If any of you have any ideas, I would be curious to know. They can't float 2/3 of the value of the company. The stock price would crash. Interest rates are rising and banks will be tightening on lending, especially when they look at Ford's declining sales. Anyway, that's my opinion, but others disagree. For example, Cramer.
But I really think that when I listen to Farley, I would take Farley over Musk in 2026.
In 2026.
When they're going to make 2 million cars, 2 million EVs.
Well, I thought that,
all right, so that's
I liked it. I loved Farley.
I would take Farley over Musk in 2026. Who does he think he is? Cramer is absolutely clueless about EVs and Tesla, you wouldn't believe. Of course Ford, a good advertising customer from CNBC. Oh right, this is from CNBC, the anti-Tesla pro-legacy channel. Cramer just gives Ford and Farley lots of credit and none to Tesla. Cramer says he thinks Farley's ambitions are remarkable, to aim for about 1/5 the number of EVs Tesla will be producing by 2026. And the yardstick of EV ambition is Tesla, and Farley's ambitions don't come close to Tesla. Oh, and Elon has a few other ambitions on the side of his EV business too. Where is Elon's praise from Cramer or the media? I mean, it's no surprise Cramer knows very little about the industry. He follows so many markets and stocks, it's too much. He can't specialize or focus. But what he said was either moronic or just a big sellout. He did a huge puff piece on Lucid too, very likely funded by Lucid to pump the stock. I think Cramer might have gotten his own free Lucid Air though, possibly. Just don't listen to Cramer, he's an entertainer, nothing more, and he has no credibility to speak out about Musk like that. Farley will most likely not be running Ford anymore by 2026 anyway. If Ford can do something productive with the Model E division, then maybe it will be a tidy enough business to sell to someone like LG to take over, a company that actually knows something about batteries. You know, when Ford's in Chapter 11. Ford don't even seem to know what Tesla even is yet. And Tesla keeps evolving and progressing so fast, Ford can't lock onto what they are anyway. And instead will continue to waste vast amounts of capital chasing the impossible. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.